Okay, on to level 2 in Castlevania 3. Cool thing about this game, unlike other Castlevania games, you're allowed to choose your path a little bit. I'm going to go up the clock tower because I want to pick up your friend, Grant. Grant Dynasty, Grant Dynasty, call him whatever we need to call him. Didn't know that was there, that's pretty cool. So I've been watching the first couple of videos as they've been posted, seeing some weird quality things, and I'm sorry about that, but I have a janky setup. I'm using my FCEUX emulator to record these in a compressed video format, and I'm using the janky of the janky Windows Movie Maker to record my commentary. After each one, it takes me a few minutes to combine them, export them, save them, but I'm seeing the video quality's kind of but that's not all the NES 8-bit action you're seeing there. Some of that's just that. Also, I'm not noticing as much of the emulator lag in the finished product, which is nice, so that only I have to deal with the emulator lag. You folks are blissfully unaware, hopefully. One thing that I saw commented on recently about this game was the incredible textures on the backgrounds. And when you play NES games as a kid, or I didn't notice anything like that when I was a kid playing these games. It was just, one game after another. But things like those moving gears in the background, and later on you'll see I have to jump on some of those gears and swing across on them. And that took some computing power. There's a cheap death. That took some computing power that was uncommon among those. When you start, after a death, you start with just the leather whip. And you have to upgrade it from that. I'm on the level 2 weapon right now, and I should be getting the next whip here shortly. There it is. One of the most difficult and frustrating things about this game is the knocked back when you get hit, which leads to a lot of cheap deaths. And a lot of people would say, well, it's not a cheap death, you just got to plan for it. And that they're right, but I still call it a cheap death. They're very frustrating. And when I first started playing this game, Simon's controls are a little bit stiff. He doesn't smoothly run and jump and doesn't quickly swing his whip, which I thought at first was just a limit of the computer technology. Watch as I fall off this ledge. You'd think that the physics of the game would carry him forward off, but he falls straight down and lands. And I thought that was just a computer glitch. They just weren't able to handle that kind of physics. I later learned I was wrong, that Simon is supposed to be kind of a muscular beef eater who is not as agile as some of the other characters you can pick up in this game. And I'm still not very far into it. On my own personal playthrough, I'm only at level 5 right now. And you can skip this level altogether, the clock tower here. You can just continue on. But I noticed after I got through a little bit that it becomes pretty difficult without Grant. So I'm going to go with Grant and keep him with me. But I've got to collect him from the top of the tower. Here's one of those effects that I saw mentioned on one of my favorite podcasts, the Retronauts podcast from the now defunct oneup.com. If you can find them and you're into these games, look them up. Because they have podcast subjects on many, many, many retro games. Ooh. I didn't know that was there. I've been trying a lot more of these. Small victories. But the computer engine to show in the background all of those gears, Retronauts pointed out. They showed a picture of Ice Climbers, an early NES game from like 1986. And this game was from 1990. Only 4 years after that, Ice Climbers had just a plain solid black background on all their screens. this, not only is it a very dynamic, rich background, but there's all kinds of contrary movement back there, which you don't think about, especially when you're a kid. Stairs. Every Castlevania fan's favorite. The stairs. You're almost completely helpless when you're on the stairs, except the stairs are the only exception to the getting knocked back when you get hit rule. So I get knocked back here, and I'm dead. If I had been on the steps, I would not have been knocked back. You get locked in when you're on the steps, so the game does get merciful there. So it becomes a little bit of a plan later when you just know you're going to take a hit. Get on the stairs. But it makes it tough to use your charged up weapon because you have to push the up on the D-pad to use your next powered weapon. And it's hard to explain, but when you push up, you go up the stairs, but if you're trying to use your weapon or turn to face an attacker, it becomes difficult. You can just watch me struggle through it, and you can just take my word that it's not easy or fun. That's okay. So I have to go down to... And you can't jump off of the stairs. You're just frozen there like a helpless child. Just frozen. Every time you go through a door in these levels, you hit a checkpoint, so that if you die, you start back at the door rather than the beginning of the level. It's a fun jump. Hope I don't have to make that one too many more times. So I haven't yet found the turkey leg that recharges your health. I haven't needed it so far because this game has so many one-hit kills. With the knockback rule that causes many an exhale. And maybe some colorful language off and on. Whew. Just get through. Just get to the next checkpoint. Let my help me code work to the best. You can just work your way through the level. Start back near the boss anyway, with quite a bit of extra health. Got 8 guys left. This game, the score up on top there does help you out. There's a turkey leg. Score does help you out. The first 20,000 points in each continue gets you an extra life, and then it's every 50,000 after that. Here comes the boss. So they give me a turkey leg right before the boss. They don't do that all the time.